Hello retail traders, this is Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy. We're going to talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And we're going to go over the weekly watch list, the Tony and Jim watch list, and let's get on with it. We still have the volume high from last week. Top of the list was Tesla. But let's go ahead and go through the indices first, kind of think about what kind of week we're going to have. What I got right here is the 20-day, 1-hour time frames on the IWM. We did have a pop on the IWM last week for a double top with a little lower high, pulled back to the 200. So that's a decisive point if it wants to hold or not. If it does, it'll come up for a triple top break. If not, it'll pull back. And the triple top will be right around somewhere right in there, right around 208.87, 209 area, somewhere in there for a double top high of right around 210. Let me get that precise in here. Precise resistance. Right at 209.97 for IWM, and the 200 to hold on the 1 hour. And if that doesn't hold, then we got the 20-day low just under $200 at 199. The QQQ did come back and pull back to that support level. Had a double bottom, which was, I pointed out, as a solid support last week, and we bounced up and had a triple high up here, a 1, 2, 3. And then she pulled on back. And you draw that trend line, the 1, 2, 3, right there to that high right there. And that should bring you right to there. So you got your 1, 2, 3. She's pulled back. And it looks to me like we had a little fat finger here at the 200. So we could see the 200 again for support, or we'll bounce off, and I don't know. I think it'd be a higher low at 433.86 again, but I don't know about that. I think we need to hold the 200 and see what happens from there on the 1 hour. SPY, same thing. The 200 is a solid support. We do have a triple top breakout at 518. Just a little bit under that, so I've got 520.38, but that 518 area has to hold, or we hit the 200 and then that might even fail a little bit. I think that triple top's more important, and then again resistance to break the 524. And then the SPX, we're going to use the 63 EMA as a support level for right now. We do have an ascending triangle breakout here. Each one of these showed a pattern of some sort. This one here is an ascending triangle right here, and then we had that low bottom right down here, descending squeeze, and then right here we had the same kind of pattern, that double bottom on the 20-day, and she bounced up off that. So it's going to be interesting. Low support on the SPX will always be the 200 on the 1 hour time frame, but for right now it's going to be the 63, and we'll see what happens from there. 51.92.86 SPX. Now let's see what's next. Go to the watch list. We got Tesla. Tesla still can't hold its own. It did have a little bounce last week. Let's go ahead and pull up the 20-day, 1 hour. We're still very bearish on this stock. They're not giving no chance yet. So I'm still watching, but we did have a nice little bounce. Broke out past the 200 last week and then pulled back again. So we created kind of like a shoulder here, head and shoulders. So I think we could come back down and double bottom somewhere around 166 and see if that holds. If that doesn't hold, and then we'll drop down for a 1, 2, 3 down here and hit this triple bottom right around 160.82. And it could go farther down. So we just got to play the knives on this one. Tesla, Apple. The platform's a little slow today. Apple pulled back on Thursday, down back to the support level. We did have a nice little breakout on it Monday, and she pulled back and hit the 200, come up and had a triple top, and then came back down again and found support. And we called this out in the room. She bounced up and hit the 200 on Friday. So Apple, still bearish on it, but I think this in the long, we do have a megaphone pattern here. Let's go ahead and draw this in. It's not a very big one, but it's there. I think it's there in a way. So you get real nasty and dip down to 168 for a double bottom easily. You know, we get just a big old knife. Some bad news comes in. Oh, it did have bad news. They got sued by the federal government. So, yeah, I mean, this could still get a reaction to that and come back and be a very strong buy at 168 and load the boat and run it back up to the 200. That's how I'd trade Apple, unless it breaks the 200, and then I'd run it up to 177. But, yeah, NVIDIA, the pullback, we called this here in the room also last week. We had that nice little pullback. We had a bounce on Monday, then a pullback, and it pulled right back to support here, and then we double topped at the top up here come Friday with a lower high. So it's got to retest that double top or come back and hit the 200 again. Now we got a short week next week, Good Friday on Friday. AMD, yeah, things are a little slow here. Look how slow this is. It'll cause issues. So AMD pulled back to a support level. This is one you definitely got to watch next week. Be number one on the watch list. If this doesn't hold this 20-day support level, and that support level is right at 175.34, we could drop down a lot more. That's how solid that has to be. And that'll be a 1, 2, 3. Maybe she'll bounce on up. We did have a little snake breakout, pull back, double bottom boom. So she is ready and poised to hit that 200 SMA at 193. We got to keep a close watch on AMD. Google, I'm in the boat with Google. I think it's a good one also. The internet's slow or the platform's slow. And I just, I get annoyed. I don't like to be slow when I'm trading stocks. I mean, if this kind of happens when I'm trading stocks and it takes 5 or 6 seconds for a chart to pull up, I've already missed my trade. Here's a double top. So this is going to be an interesting trade too, Google. It can pull back down and hit the bottom part of this support level at 145, 146 and be, I think, a better buy and hold this here trend. If not, hit the 200. But, man, right now, I have to watch Google real close because Friday it double topped. It can pull back. The market, I mean, this market's irrational exuberance. So, yeah, if I was to trade this stock, I'd set an alert right around 146. Amazon, well, let's see, 3 seconds. Amazon's at a very important level again. We did bounce up last week. Real nice bounce. We completed our resistance level of a double top and broke out of it. So this was a good call last week. We called 173 off this here shoulder line. She came back and hit it on Tuesday, and boom, to a double top. Now we got to kind of wait for a pivot point area, which would be the 200. Have it come back and retest this pivot point. These two resistance levels. Got one right here. I mean, it's all over the board. That's a solid support. So I'm going to set my alert right at 176.67. 68. I like this trade. If it comes back and touches that 200, this is very bullish looking. Amazon is. But, I mean, gosh, things are so damn high. I really like this here trade. We got Microsoft, 3, 4, 5. Come on. See how long it takes? We got an upward wedge. So there's your support level right here. Right above that trend line. That's where it's got to pull back to. I think it's overbought also. It's had a couple good runs. It did correct last week. We called this out last week. I said it's getting ready to pop. It sure did. So now we're up here. I got to see it pull back down. And land on this here trend line and see what happens from there. So I got an alert set for 423.23. RDDET I added to the watch list. Reddit. We're going to be watching this one real close. RDDT. It did pull back to support level. We got to see what's going to happen with this. I think resistance has got to break before I'd get interested in it. Or go for a 45 double bottom. So resistance is right around 46.80. Past the 9 on the 1 hour. TSM's on our watch list. 3, 4, 5. Change now. 8. See, 8 seconds. I would have to walk away from trading or trade on my phone, and I hate that. Here's another good call we made last week on my watch list. We called this breakout last week. We come down here and hit that third time, broke out of the falling wedge. 1, 2, 3. If you can count to 3, you can trade with me. And we took it to the 200, and that's TSM. Now she's still bearish because she's under the 200, but yet she was very bullish when we were down here at this dot last week. And that's TSM, and this was Monday. We ran all the way up Monday from here, then came back down and had the 3, and boom. Beautiful. That is beautiful. That trade played perfect last week. Meta. 3 seconds. Here we go again on Meta. We called this double bottom down here on the bottom on Meta last week. She broke out on Monday, pulled back and retested. We had a 1, 2, 3. Jimmy called it out, and we made it to the top of the tree. And that's Meta. So now we're at the top, and we got to pull back, and we're going to use that 200 as a support level in this stock on the 1 hour time frame. So set your alert above that 200. Meta. 1 hour time frame. All these are done in the 1 hour, and I'm predicting these trades on a 1 hour time frame, mostly off the 200 SMA, the 63 EMA, the 21 EMA, and the 9 EMA. Boeing started getting some love last week, if it can just get some love on the chart. Oh, I hate it. This is so embarrassing how slow it is. So we came back and hit my support level last Monday. Broke out a little bit on Tuesday, then double bottom, and then run up and hit the 200 as planned on Boeing last week. We had to hold 179.04, and that's what we did. So that's still going to remain the same. We got to hold that 179.04. If we don't, we can fall a lot more. If not, we try to break it up to 196.90. Now, Boeing's in a lot of deep trouble right now. This is just cheap in the minds of the fat cats in the market. So you go with what you want to say, but I think it sucks. SMCI, here's another one that we called out last week. We had the pullback to the bottom of the support level that we called out. We talked about it. She did pull back and hit that, double bottom, come up and run up about halfway. Now I'm still bearish on this stock, so we got to see what happens from here. I think they can still pull back a lot more, especially this one. This is just way overpriced. Netflix, man, wait till you see this chart. 25, 30, 50 seconds. Come on. Last week, we called this off the 200. She bounced off the 200 come Monday, then pulled back and retested it, and then boom again with a new high on a 20-day Netflix, which I said this was a very strong support. Anytime you hit it, you bounce up, and we hit it on Tuesday, and she bounced up pretty nicely. She comes back down again and hits that 200. It's a good trade. I'm going to put my support level right above it. My alerts. Actually, I need to go up just a little bit higher to the top of this candle. Boom. And Mr. So Mr. took a pretty good hit last week. It takes a hit. It runs with Bitcoin. So you got to follow the trend of Bitcoin, whatever that trend's in. And then Mr.'s in. 25 seconds, 1,000 seconds there, finally. So Monday, we had a pretty hard sell-off. Tuesday came again, and she ran back out to a 123. Now she's off to 200. So I can see this thing pulling back down here for a double bottom off of Head and Shoulders. Where in the heck did all that come from? Oh, wow, it's showing up late. I'm going to put this right above the 200. That's my chart. I already had it charted up. So there's a gap play in there on this Mr. You can see it right in here. Either hold that gap or drop down here to the bottom part of that gap. Right now we're at the 200 on the 1 hour, so it's got to do something here. Lily. So yeah, Mr. Follow it with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's doing good, you'll probably do good with this trade. If it's not, it can pull back. Then you can probably grab down here to the 3 and be a very strong buy. See if that holds at 1331. It's another one that's way up there, way out of touch. And you got the Lily. 3, 4 seconds. We broke the 200 last week. Our target was to break the 200, and that's exactly what we did. We found a Head and Shoulders resistance level. So there's your Head and Shoulders. So it's going to come back down. If it doesn't hold the 200, and then, I don't know, somewhere somewhere down in here. Right around 270, 754. Under 754 for Lily. Then we're going to add two more to the watch list. Adobe. These got hit hard last week. We got Adobe and Lulu. So Adobe got hit hard, and we did the 1, 2, 3 rule on it, and just didn't hold up very well. Came back down. So I think this is one we got to watch and see what's going to go happen with it. And then I'm going to add Lulu off earnings. Also, didn't have a good showing forecast. Put this on your time frame. Hope it's actually a lot better tomorrow. So we're down here at an ascending triangle. If you look at the weekly, you can see it a little bit better. We came down and hit that ascending triangle support. If that doesn't hold, it's a good drop to 365, somewhere in there. And then I'd probably load the boat there off the 200. Catch it for sure off the bottom of that trend line. Around 350. If this does not hold, this has to hold. This is important that it does hold. Your next support's right there. 350, 348. Low support. Strong buy. Lulu. I don't think it's that bad, but everything's overpriced. You know, everything's just way overpriced. And things are going to shock you, and then the dips are going to be violent and fast, and people are going to be not thankful that they got out when we were at these extremely high prices. So I just want to make it perfectly clear. I'm taking it easy, and I'm playing it perfect. So, you know, if something nice, it's got my attention. I know exactly what's run and what hasn't. And we added Adobe and Lulu and Reddit to the watch list. And I didn't take anything off yet. And that's it. Let's keep a good eye next week on the market. I'm going to be playing it, like I said, with caution. I think we got to wait again for earnings. The Fed already spoke. Earnings came out. We're going to consolidate off these extremely high levels on some of these stocks. And some of them have already corrected well enough to where they can start creating a sideways Darvis box. So that's it, retail traders. Sneaky Snake, we'll see you come Monday, short trading week. Adios.